When China says the door is open, is this a game changer?
Well, I think that we need to get used to the fact that some degree of tension, geopolitical tension between the US and China is going to persist for as long as we're all in business. It's not going to go away anytime soon. But in terms of what's happening right now, then I would not be bold enough to predict what the end game of the tariffs is, but we're certainly going to see an evolution of the current policy. And the obvious reason for this is it's in both parties' best interest to come to some sort of a compromise. So I think that game changing is quite a bold and dangerous statement. But are we going to see more news flow, and are we going to see concessions in both directions? Quite possibly.
What did we learn? What did you learn about market behavior and how the market is perceiving this trade war in the month of April? And do you expect more of a similar level of volatility in the month of May?
Well, volatility, again, is a given. We're not going to get away from that anytime soon. But I think that one of the interesting things about the market response is how you might have imagined, looking at the magnitude of the tariffs on China, that it would have sold off much more than it did. And I think there are various reasons that it wasn't a worse situation. One of those, of course, is that for all that China is perceived as being an export country or an export-driven economy, it's actually got a huge domestic market, a huge domestic economy. And if we look at stock indices, the majority of the revenues are actually generated internally within China. So that's one thing. The second thing, of course, is that we saw the announcement or the release of DeepSeek in the first quarter. And I would say that that has electrified confidence in China. The animal spirits, which have been notably lacking for the past couple of years, have really returned in a big way. And that's very, very positive. And of course, one of the unintended consequences of US policy is that it has given the Chinese government and the Chinese business community a common opponent, should we say, to coalesce against. And again, that's very, very positive for sentiment in China. They will unite to push back on something that they see works against their best interests. So we're going to see a lot more volatility. We're going to see a lot more noise and a lot more news flow. But some of these fundamental things, they're not going to change.